Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a proper JRPL Frontline. Yes, it's episode 2. A long time after episode 1, and we want to do these weekly, but there's a reason for that, as I'm sure everybody knows. First off, we do have the world champion, BeerMeJesus. He is back here. How are you today, BeerMe?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself, Scott?
I'm doing pretty good. Things are crazy right now, and not just wrestling. It's like the world is kind of shitting itself, as I've been saying. um, the main reason we didn't do the last episode of this was because we were delaying things because we just didn't have time with Bear Me on a normal day we were going for. And then when we were going to do it, the Ring of Honor show got canceled. So why preview that? And then literally it became a day-by-day situation of things changing as far as for restrictions on gatherings, meaning that Florida can't have events over a certain size, meaning WrestleMania is canceled, right? And then it wasn't for 2 weeks until it was, then it was moved, and now suddenly, as of yesterday, it became 2 days, and it's insane. So what we're really going to cover here, we've got a few things to talk about as far as for Elimination Chamber, which really we hadn't covered that yet, but also how we handled Ring of Honor, the anniversary show that never happened. The unique situation there regarding there being results for that, but also what happened with TakeOver and Supercard and how we're handling WrestleMania with some more exclusive match announcements. So, Beerme, are you ready to dive into some insanity?
100%.
Okay. First off, we'll talk about Ring of Honor, because the last thing I recorded for this was saying don't forget to get your predictions in for Ring of Honor before Friday the 13th. And the day after I recorded that, as it gets uploaded, literally I had to change the description. Ring of Honor's anniversary show was canceled. As everybody knows, the coronavirus, COVID-19, is wreaking havoc on the world. Like, the Canadian border with the States is being locked down aside from citizens. And, like, I cannot go to the States right now, technically, because I don't have essential services I'm providing. That's where we're at. Italy's in national quarantine. If you want more details about that kind of stuff and how we talk about how it affects wrestling in the world, the Jobber Radio podcast episode on that is actually going up on Friday the 20th. Bomber just posted a thing about it today. This probably won't be up until the same day, so if you're watching this, you can go watch that by now as well. It is talking in depth for about an hour, hour and a half about how wrestling's affected with the coronavirus, with how things are going to adapt, how there's been empty arena shows, all that kind of stuff. Check that out there. We're not going to dwell on that here because it is dealt with over there. But how it affects JRPL includes things like the Ring of Honor show. So, with the bookers and writing team that we have, we've got stories structured through to WrestleMania. And we have certain beats hitting at certain times, with storyline angles and things that have to happen to build to a show. It's a sequential thing, and that's what we have. And as far as we knew, we'd had Elimination Chamber, which meant we still had the Ring of Honor anniversary, then Supercard, and then TakeOver and WrestleMania itself. So we still had 3 shows building to Mania. Well, Ring of Honor suddenly came out of the equation. So we looked to bump a lot of that stuff to Supercard. Still a Ring of Honor show as far as we're concerned. That still works for our tracking. It's the same kind of scale. It's all good. No problem there. A few contendership things changed because the Road Warrior title is defended at every show. So what happened to the contender at this one? Well, he got bumped to do another match there. Like, his match got moved. The contender for that one got moved because we had pre-scheduled everything. It was just a mess. And otherwise, a lot of the matches that we kind of had prepped because we had written a lot of it, we just kind of took and banked it, and we'll rebook for later, and we'll just tweak things later. So if someone isn't the champion, we'll do that later, things like that. Like, there's literally matches written for Beer Me and CT, and Beer Me and Broken Nerd, and Nerd was the Ultraviolent champion, so we could reuse that match somewhere else, tweak things for the situation at the time, heel and face, champ or non-champ, because he's not UV champ anymore, and stuff like that. So we've had to adapt on the fly. And then they went and canceled WrestleMania somewhat. They moved it to the Performance Center, which means stuff about having a big, massive crowd and audience is suddenly gone because they're having it in a small-scale gym with no crowd. So that had to scale back. That had to be adjusted. I haven't even done that for the write-up yet because we weren't even sure how they were doing it. But they were saying, well, what happens to TakeOver and Supercard? Well, WWE said they weren't going to do any more events in Tampa. So TakeOver was outright canceled. Now, from the real wrestling side of things, all they had announced was a women's ladder match for the number one contendership, and 3 of the opponents were declared. They didn't do anything beyond that. There was rumored for other matches, but they were going to probably be solidified last night, Wednesday, and we go from there. So that got scrapped. And then Ring of Honor said, yeah, we're canceling everything through, like, May. So suddenly, all those matches we'd moved from the anniversary to Supercard, and all the Supercard matches, plus TakeOver matches, all got scrapped. So all of the planning and hitting those beats was just gone. So that changed our booking plans for Mania, because we kind of said, well, this person can be in line for something here and build toward it there. Well, now it's just going to be at Mania anyway. What we've done for part of that is kind of leaned a bit, myself anyway, on our Discord character chat, because beats we were going to have happen, we're doing in there. At least I am. There's aspects of it where we just kind of adapt and go, all right, well, due to the craziness, this is what we're doing. With WrestleMania being 2 days, the further evolution of that is how we're handling it as the JRPL. So here's what we're doing. It is being considered one show to predict. Not like it's WrestleMania day 1 and you predict that, and then you also predict day 2. It's simply one show. My main argument there was, what if they have a match scheduled for day 1, they do an angle and bump it to day 2 and move something to day 1, suddenly 2 matches are thrown out, but they still happen at WrestleMania. That's not worth the headache. WrestleMania is what it is. It just takes over 2 days. And it's going to be weird where we do the results and then we kind of pause it and then we resume it the next day. So a ladder match is going to be crazy because you're going to have to wait, because the rules for that is you get 5 in a row. Well, so you're at 4, you got to wait for the opening match the next day. That kind of thing. So that's what we're doing for that. The storyline write-up will be 1 day. We're not treating it as JRPL WrestleMania takes 2 days. It takes place in 1. And we're also, I do believe, not treating it as being in an empty arena in Tampa or in a crowded arena in Tampa. We're mirroring what they do, so it is based out of the JRPL Performance Center. And what we can do with that is actually get creative with stuff with some of the matches and actually do some unique things. Like, I know I've got to redo my match, but I've got my entrance definitely changed with the idea of there being no crowd. So it forces our hand to be creative, but it lets us be creative in a unique situation, because this has never happened before. We've never had to deal with this. And that's what we did with Ring of Honor. So bear me, with the Ring of Honor anniversary show, we literally had people like predicting and stuff. We had angles ready to go. We ended up putting out a results for that. Now, we don't consider it to be an actual event. There was no matches, no results, technically. Did you read through those quote-unquote results for what we did?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So what we did was we kind of made it a big full-on character chat article kind of thing to kind of fill that gap. Because otherwise there would literally be nothing between, March 3rd and April 3rd. Like, there'd be a full month with anything, and we needed something. So instead of having a tag match or having you with a non-title match, we simply did storyline stuff. So things like, one bit I wrote was with LJ outside because he was going to no-show and protest. Well, I had him outside saying, the event isn't happening, so now I am the show. And he got into a brawl with Cam, and it was the fact he's a fan, he isn't, and he wasn't allowed in the arena, playing on the uniqueness of it. My segment was ridiculous, because Red suggested a bit where we arrived to the arena drunk in a limo, and I went, let's go all out, let's go to the ring, and no one can stop us from getting frisky. So, of course, the ultimate heel moment is where Bomber comes out with a barbed wire bat, and I'm naked. Like, that's the best way to do it. That you could not have done that with a crowd. Like, that's the kind of thing where you can have fun with that and play with that. So we did that. We did angles really with the enigmas. We did a lot of stuff to try to cover it and kind of soften the blow, as it were. What did you think of the non-result results?
I enjoyed all of them. I thought they were all really well written and really good. And it all ties everything together for what's going to happen at Mania.
Yeah, here's the results people can see on screen, what we did with it. I'll move that just a bit over. There we go. But what we did with it, with confrontations and the championship match signing, like, instead of you facing CT, I had CT moderate you and Tino's contract signing.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite bit was literally having him, when you two were about to fight, run out and sit in the crowd and be like, all right, the audience is here. It's me. Go ahead. Right? And then having confrontations of the people coming out that's helping you, and yet you're facing them, like Tigress, stuff like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to have people playing to the crowd, or to the camera, rather, because there was no crowd. I had Tino just leave in the middle of the arena, because there's nobody there. Who cares? Right? Like, that's the way to go about that. So, but yeah, it was a unique situation. I think everybody was really proud of what we did as far as from the team. I liked everything we did with that one. I thought it was a creative, unique way to go about it, and I can say we're not doing that for Supercard or TakeOver, because it's not like everything was ready to go and suddenly it's pulled. It's weeks away and we know it's not happening, so there's no event. So ROH Anniversary doesn't count as a show. It's not like show 89. WrestleMania is, because there's literally just shows that aren't happening, so they're not in the canon. Even though that one was kind of there, it was more we got to the arena, but it got called off. So I even had like the Road Warrior champion walking around like he's not defending it. This is weird. He's at a show but not defending it, but there's no matches, so it doesn't count. It was weird and unique, and we're not doing it again. I mean, if they cancel Mania, all right, we'll do it again. But like, if it's the week of, right? So,
Right.
So TakeOver. I've got the card here, and yeah, it's simply not happening. Tino and Jut and BeerMe and Broken Nerd non-title. That was the rematch, still not happening. And Redhead and Bomber not happening. So all these different matches are just not going down. But it is what it is. We do have the Elimination Chamber results here, and we have WrestleMania, which I forgot to keep up. There we go. The Chamber itself, well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the last event we actually had.
I'm down.
So what we had was the finals of the TTCC with Simple Creatures, who had gone all the way, defending against AHMF, GMSG, and Spring Tigress. They are former tag champions because they won the tournament before. They won the first one. And they won the titles from myself after we took it from you guys. So we're all familiar with this tournament and their history in it. And Simple Creatures simply went in and hadn't lost yet. They're the first champions to make it to the final from the start. They lost. And AHMF won. The first two-time tournament winners, the first two-time tag champions to do that. I think GMSG's or Spring Tigress is a three-time tag champion. They're the most decorated there is now. They joined very elite company, and yeah, yet again 2 years in a row, the champions dethroned the challengers dethroned the champions in the final. So
Champions just don't have very good luck in those tournaments.
Not really, no. And the Simple Creatures did the best.
Yep.
In the first year, and not to rub it in, but the Solution lost to the Outsiders. Then the Outsiders lost to HMF, who won the final. In the second year, it was Team No Chance losing to the Drifters. Again, that's myself. That was part of the fun story we ended up doing. We retained against the Chaotic Maniacs, but then lost in the final. And to the Drifters. And then we have here, Simple Creatures simply came in and retained, and retained, and retained, and then lost. So, they came the closest, but no one's ever done it. The other match we had, of note, there's a bunch in here, but the other main one regarding this stuff was the actual Elimination Chamber match for the Top Lock Championship. Bastion, trying to do what his UVC compatriots did somewhat, defend in the Chamber. Now, you and I picked the Chamber order of entry, and he was number 1. He and CT were starting off and had Nathan 8K, Wookiee, Red, and Cyborg, Crimson Cyborg, going in there. Oh, actually, yeah, Redhead and Crimson Cyborg. That's kind of funny. They were the other entrants in there as the challengers. And as we can see on screen, Redhead 12 won the title.
Your girl did it, Scott.
I am very biased, yes. Red even put it, 1,008 days from day one to winning a title. So, literally 1,000 days by a week. And it was a pretty solid victory, too. Very happy for that. It's become a fun thing where I've always treated Infinity like the Undisputed Era, in a way, where everybody's got their spot. So it's not like I'm the leader and you're over there doing this, you're doing that. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm the guy who's like, I'm the figurehead, the leader, but Redhead's the champ? Yeah, damn right, you respect that. That's the champion. There you are. Yep. So that's what I was hoping for, and the fact that we got it, that's awesome. So very, very cool. Were you surprised by Redhead dethroning Bastion? Were you surprised by Bastion losing, first off?
Well, he came out number 1, so that's usually not in your favor.
No.
So I really wasn't surprised that he didn't retain. I am a little surprised that Redhead won.
Yeah, I should have wrote down. I forget who you thought it would be. I think you were saying... Was it Wookiee?
I was rooting for... I was rooting for Nathan to win it.
That's right, yes.
But I did pick CT and Bastion to be 1 and 2, so...
Yes. And it ended up being Red and CT at the end, and that became a very violent brawl. It was kind of fitting. Like, we opened with one story, we closed with another, and it's not finished, and we'll get to that in a bit. But no, it was a very fun match. Elimination Chambers are always ridiculous. I've yet to be in one. I want to, because I want to do all the things. But yeah, very, very interesting match. Very happy Redhead won, of course, so that's that.
Congrats to her.
Yes. Now, the Road Warrior Championship was, as you recall, we announced that it would be a hardcore match to make sure there was another no contest with a tie between Jed Ionio and Randy the Fiend Orton. It was another tie! So we were going to have a rematch at Supercard in a Now or Never hardcore tables match, I think it was. And then that got bumped. And now that got canceled. So I think he's literally defending against Randy and others in a ladder match at WrestleMania. There's some craziness. Because we had like 5 contenders lined up because of all the shows. And then triple threat matches to determine who the other contenders would be. Like, I've got it right here. Hawk and Payne defeated the Green Machine and Camp Popplestone to determine who would be the number 1 contenders at Supercard and TakeOver. Well, neither of those happened. So Hawk and Payne, their title shots got axed. And Randy needs a rematch. So all 3 of them are in the discussion now, as well as the people who were already going to be facing. And yeah, it got nuts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we'll get to how that all shook down. We do have, though, BeerMe defeated LJ. You won your non-title match 35-33.
Indeed I did.
Very close. LJ's been on a tear, and that's a 2-point loss. That's a bonus question. You kind of snuck that one out.
Yeah, I got Sarah Logan right.
That's about it. Speaking of close ones, Age of Annihilation beat the Outsiders 62-61.
Oh, man, 1 point.
That hurt. That hurt a lot. But what it's done, just like last time, I think he beat me by a point too, is I've got it where they're stealing the win. Right? So it's almost like, you prick. So Jason's been cool with that. So it's been pretty kind of fun where they're just getting one up on us. So that's been a lot of fun. Beyond that, JJ Rocky, I'll point him out. He's got a win over Vitamin Yes, 30-28. New guy doing very well. Alpha Dog.
Isn't he undefeated?
I think he might be. He might be, or he's like got like 1 loss, if that. That might be it. So not much of a loss record. I think, does he have a page yet? Let me just look really quick here. No, he doesn't. There's no page for him yet, so I can't see his record quickly. But yeah, he's doing very, very well. The Reaction beat Renaissance. Bomber beat CM Carlito. Orstella, the hardcore champ, beat Junction. And there's a lot of other matches. Again, we do put a lot of work into the write-ups, jobberradio.com. Do check those out. A lot of details are there. But I'll skim through those. I will mention really quick, newcomers Jason defeated Camicat 37-15. Cami admitted she picked blind. She had no idea what was what. And also I saw Urban Legend defeated Tom, so another newish newcomer, doing very well. As Lucha Warrior too, and lots of new guys are doing very, very well. So
I just want to throw out there, Rab did beat Chet. Just throwing that out.
Yes, and something that I regret not mentioning more, when I beat Bastion, I beat Bastion. I had not been able to defeat any UVC member ever, and it kind of slipped by me that I actually beat Bastion on my birthday, no less. So
that's true, you did.
Very happy about that one. Very, very happy. That was a big thing for me. So I made sure to make mention of that in a promo. It was a big deal. But now we do have WrestleMania. Forgive me, I'm jumping around and bouncing around. Did you have any other comments about the Chamber? I know it's almost a month ago now. It seems like it was actually only like 2 weeks, if even that. But any comments on the Chamber itself? How things shook down? How things kind of built towards what was supposed to happen?
Right. I mean, at least with the Chamber itself, we're gonna probably get what's gonna happen that was built towards. So
yes.
But just congrats to our new champions.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think anybody was defending after that anyway, so it's not like reigns got extended. There was no championship defenses outside of Road Warrior until Mania, so Orstella, Red, yourself, and HMF were all going to WrestleMania. Like, those absolutely were happening. There's no, oh, they got an extended reign because they didn't defend at Supercard or TakeOver. No, they never were. Or Ring of Honor, for that matter. There were no title matches there, so that, just so we make that clear. But a lot of matches didn't happen. It's a bit of a bummer for what was supposed to happen and didn't. So, but we'll see what happens from there. As far as for WrestleMania, we do have that on screen now. It is April 5th and April 4th. So predictions are going to be due by an hour before pre-show time on Saturday, April 4th. Do keep that in mind. The prediction page will probably go up that week, so you can't do it yet. It's way too early, but April 1st will probably be available depending on where that falls with a Monday, Tuesday. We're probably going to wait till after NXT because they might put NXT TakeOver matches on to Mania, so things like Cold and Dream for the title probably will be a Mania match now, technically.
Kind of hope that is. Right?
So, I mean, because it is a tri-brand pay-per-view now. Because NXT is a third brand, and they're considering that, but they're kind of like, and a match. It's its own thing because they have takeovers, but this time they don't. So we'll see what happens there. But with WrestleMania, yes, I've got the card here, and yes, you can see the awesome graphics that Bomber does for these. It is World Champion BeerMeJesus versus Royal Rumble winner Tino. It is Bomber versus Scott, no ropes, barbed wire death match. And yes, we're covering matches we already know about. We'll get to some additions here in a bit. Jut 9 versus Bastion in an Iron Man match. So that's a lot of history in those two matches there. You guys have a different history, you and Tino, going back to the Rumble and what he's done to world champions at WrestleMania. Ours is a lot more blood feud style, so there's some craziness there. We do have AHMF defending against the Simple Creatures. We did mention that. They are getting their rematch. They were the best team ever in the TTCC. They had a great reign as champions, one of the longest ones there was, going against, really probably, let's say it, the second best tag team to ever hold the gold, behind the Solution. Depending how this reign goes, they'll probably pass that. I'm not joking about that. They've done things the Solution haven't done. No offense.
It's true.
This is how it works. Sometimes people pass you by. It's just that's how it is. You were the best in the early days. We'll see how it goes. Let's actually mention that here. The Hall of Fame for WWE is being delayed, but we have announced, and it is still taking place on WrestleMania, the first member of the 2020 Jobber Radio Prediction League Hall of Fame. It is the Solution's John. So that has been announced. That is still happening. That will be taking place. So speaking of early days of the JRPL and Solution, John is going in the Hall of Fame. How do you feel about that?
I feel it's well deserved, and it's only right that he's the first member in.
He's a two-time world champion during the early days. I think he had the first reign, then won it back. He main evented many shows. He's a strong member of the Solution, and he kind of went when he left. It was kind of on a high because he was starting to falter a bit, but it was still high profile. And I do believe the plan is for that to happen during WrestleMania. There will be a speech by Solution members. I'll leave it at that. I don't remember how much has been announced about that, but we will go from there. Actually, no, I remember Bomber did mention it. The people inducting John are the former tag champions, yourself, BeerMeJesus, the current world champion, and the Warden, who is retired, coming to do this speech.
Yep, I had to drag him out of the retirement home.
Yep, if anything could, that's a good one. So, but what I do like is there's one member. We're not doing a whole bunch because we've only been around 3 years, and I know Bomber and I talked about it a lot with Halls of Fame, but the idea of current people going in is not cool generally, and there usually is a period to really evaluate and see where people fall. I'll freely say this as far as for who I think would go in eventually. You and Warden definitely, considering your reign as tag champs. Same with Tigress and GMSG. Like, they're the kind of people that will go in. Probably Woody. I'd like to think myself and Bomber too. Probably Lee, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a weird one where people might think Lee doesn't quite deserve it, but for the early days, yeah, maybe. But that's where you see. That's why you do one, and then by the time we get to someone like that in 5 years, where if I'm still active by that point, right? Like I'll never be up for it until afterwards. So you never know what happens and what goes. So
another one would be Super Hippo.
Yes, Super Hippo, absolutely Super Hippo.
Yeah.
Hell, it really depends on the criteria, which I don't know. But that could be a fun discussion for another day, because looking at what I see on the screen right now, Jut and Bastion absolutely belong in. I have no question they would belong in. Did they win the world title? Doesn't matter. That's not the be-all, end-all as far as I'm concerned for that kind of thing. But if it is only world champions, okay, we got a small list. Legit Boss is definitely on there as someone who would belong in. Let's scroll the screen down a bit here. We got Super Hippo, CM Carlito, JD Onio. Yeah, a bunch of those names I have no problem with. Even Team No Chance, Buck and Lily. I have no problem with that.
Chet did win the world title, so.
He did, yes. Bastion's a 3-time Top Block champ. Vitamin, yes, no knock there. There's many people where you can make a case for it, and that's going to be part of the ongoing process for how we do it. So that'll be a lot of fun, I think. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do for your speech. I did say fully I would love to have a heel moment and confront John, because I never did. Let's be honest. I was not high level at that time, so that would be a kind of a fun thing. To really, the heel would get his comeuppance. See, I'd get my ass beat. Let's be honest. That's what that moment's for. But I there's no plan for that. I was just like, that'd be fun. So
that would be cool.
But yeah, back to the card. Like I said, Super Hippo. He's facing CM Carlito. That's one of the best teams we've had that didn't have a team name. It was simply Super Hippo and CM Carlito. They're facing each other at WrestleMania. It is in a hardcore tables match too. You mentioned JJ Rocky. He's facing JD Onio in a submission match.
Oh.
Now, it's not listed here, but he is the Road Warrior champion. So I don't know what the actual plan for that is, if that's becoming a Road Warrior title match. I presume it does. That's one of the few things still in flux. We'll get there. But JJ Rocky, newcomer, undefeated, high-profile match at Mania. That's an awesome thing to see. Also, Samoa Joe versus Keith Lee for the graphics. So that's pretty badass.
I was about to say something about that.
Yeah. Next up, we do have the Regulators versus LND versus Team No Chance. Specifically, I'm trying to remember the members here. LND, I believe, is Cure 1 and Lucha Warrior. It is Vitamin and Buckend 5 for Team No Chance. And I'm horrible with the Regulators, but I'm pretty sure that's Crimson Cyborg and Captain Charisma. It's Christian and Cena. Pretty sure that's the combination.
3J.
It's 3J Platinum. Forgive me, thank you. This is why we have a 2-man team here. But that is a number 1 contender match for the JRPL Tag Team Championship. So, what do you feel about that combination and that setup?
Ooh, that's an interesting match. I mean, Vitamin and Buck and Five, they really haven't teamed a whole lot together, I don't think.
They
I mean,
tried.
they did for the Classic.
Exactly, they were in the first round of the Classic, but I I took out Lily.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're an evil person.
I did. I took out Lily. I took out Matt. I beat up Brab. I do think
Mhm,
I'm a very big heel right now. So
Mm-hmm. The Regulators, well, they were the first ever tag champs. Not to say that, so.
hmm
But LND, I think I can't remember if they've been doing well or not.
they were tag
Um,
champs. Like they won some crazy stuff and pulled it out. But
Oh,
then they did
yeah.
have a string of bad luck.
Hmm.
This is kind of
I like
a
that match,
redemption
though.
match. I like it because all teams have been good, but have faltered a little bit. So it seems like a fair thing to be like, all right, which one of you three step up?
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I do too.
Next up, we do have Redhead 12 versus Jonathan C.T. Martin. Yes, like I said, that is unfinished business. Here we go again. It is for the Top Lock Championship, but it is in a Falls Count Anywhere death match. The Enigmas explode.
That they have.
And yes, the graphic, I do love it because it's got Redhead with the custom mask that she's wearing as part of Infinity. It is very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, that is pretty dope.
It's well. I'm gonna pause and just mention that because I think Bomber and CT have done some of the graphics work with that, and I think GMSG did some. If I overcredited or undercredited, whatever, but the way they've done the mask and some of the graphics, it's like under the hair and pinning it back in some ways. It's like, god damn, you kind of nailed that. It looks great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Redhead, the Top Lock champion Redhead, facing CT. So that's a brutal feud anyway, let alone for a
A
title
lot of history.
that CT has a lot of history with the Top Lock title.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be an interesting one. Plus, Falls Count Anywhere deathmatch. I mean, that's nothing can stop Infinity from getting involved in that, or the Enigmas.
It's true.
So,
I'd also like to point out that both of you are in death matches, which is
yeah, mine. I'm scrolling back up to it. There it is. The no rope barbed wire death match. That was my fault for letting Bomber pick the match. And no joke. Like, let's peel back that curtain. I said I'll challenge you to any match, and I found out after he made the graphic what he decided on. I went, oh, okay, we're doing that, sweet. And then I literally watched the CZW anniversary and got inspired. So we're gonna have fun with that match. So those are the marquee matches. No other matches have graphics as of right now. There will be some more coming, including some of the ones below, I think. But any of those, I mean, we talked about the tag titles. JD Onyo and JJ Rocky. It's pretty crazy.
That's going to be a good one. And it's a submission match.
Excuse me. I will disinfect later. It is the time of year for that, and the world is a horrible thing. So, excuse me for that. But yes, JD and JJ, Super Hippo and Carlito. Does anything? I mean, let's say I'm part of the people doing it. I don't really decide the matches, but I work on stuff like, oh, that could be good. Does anything stand out as being like, yeah, that seems WrestleMania worthy or not WrestleMania worthy? Like, does anything really jump out? You're like, oh man, it's finally there, or
I like the Redhead and CT match. That'll be good. Bash and Jet Jet.
those are two big feuds with a lot of backstory, history. Yep.
And even with Super Hippo and Carlito with their history as well.
Yes.
But I really like that submission match of JD and JJ Rocky. I just like a good submission match. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you are
Looking
Mr.
forward to
Submission,
that.
so
Yeah.
you are 0-3. Sorry, I'm 0-3 against you in those. Yeah, I'll give you the credit. You've won all those, so yeah.
But I am really interested in your match, though, because I know that's going to get wild.
That one, I'm biased, yes, but that literally is something that I've been building towards since like early 2018 when I did that first tweet chewing him out. So that's the ultimate. That's a Mania match to me. That's like a big Mania one. Judge Ut and Bastion, absolutely. I think they all really seem worthy of Mania.
They
Even
do.
the tag titles, you're like, that's the three best teams that aren't number one. right?
Yeah.
Or like the contenders. So everything really, really fits. Let's scroll down a little bit. We have the Ultraviolent Championship, Orstella versus blank. The Road Warrior title, blank versus blank and blank. Because remember, it was supposed to be whoever the champion is versus whoever won the triple threat at TakeOver and Supercard in a triple threat. Well, JD's still the champ, so we'll get to that. I have news on that, so we'll get there. And as we scroll, there's nothing else. So that's the announced matches until now. So let me announce the remaining matches for WrestleMania. What we have, let's go through here. And give me your thoughts as we go. This first one, though, has a bunch of names, so give me a second to get through them. We have Forever Chillin', Killmonger, Gotanaku, Cade Gailey, Cremador, and Captain Charisma. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A 6-man match. The winner will go on to join the Road Warrior title match.
Oh.
So Forever Killin' and Killmonger, I mean, that's Forever Killin'. That's the team is in that match. Gotanaku, former champ Cade Gailey, Cremador, who's been kind of making a name since Survivor Series, and Captain Charisma, who I mentioned earlier, getting confused. Who's your pick on that?
Oh man. Wow. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Cade Gailey.
Cade, do you think so?
Yeah, either him or Cremador, but I'm gonna go with Cade Gailey just because. Well, last time I was in a multi-man match with him was a chamber match, and he won. So I mean, he's got experience, and
I like it.
I'm
gonna pick Captain Charisma. Just because he's the veteran, I think he's gonna pull that one out. He seems to do well in these kind of things here and there, so I'm picking him for that one. Now the next match is the Enigmas. I'm not sure if they're blissful or eloquent. Probably eloquent, considering it is Junction and Adonex versus Cassius and Nathan 8K. It's hard. For me, I'll go first. It's hard to pick against Nathan in a lot of stuff because he does well, surprisingly, here and there. But the Enigmas, I think they'll benefit from what WrestleMania is of being a big card. So I really think the Enigmas are going to pull that one out. But if it was a smaller event, I think actually Nathan and Cassius would pull that out.
Yeah, I think that since the Enigmas have been a team longer, I think that they'll prevail. We haven't seen Nathan and Cassius work together yet. So.
No, it's like a Drifters 2.0, so we'll see what we go from there. Now, next up is kind of spinning out of that street fight, literally fighting in the street at ROH. It's LJ versus Cam Popplestone. But it's not a street fight. There's no stipulation. It's just a normal match.
Aw.
Yeah, I was kind of like, I accidentally made them fight in the street. Should we give them a street fight? But we can build toward that. We will start somewhere. This is their first real match. We can build toward that, because presumably there'll be more. So it's a regular match, and if things get out of hand, street fight down the road. We don't need to jump to everything right now. So,
I think I'm going to pick LJ in that. He's, even though Cam's been around since the beginning, LJ's been on a roll, and he almost beat me, so
yeah.
I
agree.
Have to pick him.
It's hard to pick against LJ right now. Cam has been doing great, but then fumbles. Not as much as myself, I'll freely admit that, but it is a similar time when it's like, string of luck, boom, string of luck, boom. LG's been on that same thing. They both have very similar career paths and even history with being screwed over and things like that. With Bomber, we incorporate that into the Ring of Honor write-up. But I really think that it's going to be LJ who probably takes that one and gets the win. So that's my guess anyway. Next up, we have Ash versus the Dark Rider.
Ooh. Why don't you go first on this one?
This one? I
Yeah.
usually pick Ash for stuff like this because not that he surprises me, but because he used to surprise me a lot, and now it's not a surprise. He just pulls it out. So I think I'm going to go with Ash on this one.
Yeah, former world champ.
Against Dark Rider looking to make a name.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Ash on this one.
Think so? Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Dark Rider pulled it out, but this is the kind of thing where you start to go, oh, okay, and you start picking him going forward if he does win. But he just hasn't yet, so I'm still going to lean on Ash for that one. Next up, I have bad news. The submission match with JD Onio and JJ Rocky is not happening.
Oh man.
Instead, it is JD Onio versus JJ Rocky versus the contenders who didn't get their shot yet, Hawk and Payne, and rematch for Randy the Fiend Orton, plus the winner of the six-man mentioned earlier for the Road Warrior title in a ladder match.
Man.
Yeah.
You go ahead here, Scott.
Well, JJ and Randy have had major issues and keep tying. So it's hard to pick against Randy. He's come out of nowhere and does really, really well. Hawk and Payne have both kind of come in strong on their own. And like I said, Captain Charisma was my pick up there. He could easily come through and do well here. JD's a tough one to beat. I know that. I did not win the world title from him. I know very well. But I'm going to be that guy, and I'm going to pick JJ Rocky to win that whole thing.
Oh, you're going with the title change.
I think so, yeah. I think there will be one anyway, but I'm thinking it's JJ who takes it.
Yeah, he's been on a roll, but man, so is JD. But I honestly kind of feel like if with Randy in the match, that JD and Randy could tie again, wouldn't that be some?
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I think I'm going to pick JD to retain somehow.
Remember,
I want to go with the champ.
With WrestleMania as big as it is, 5 in a row, you win.
Yeah.
Right? So that is very possible on a big event like that. Even though it seems like there's probably only going to be 8 matches total, 4 and 4, but we'll see. It might be 5 and 5, depending how they spread the card out. Still, that's plenty of time to pull out a win.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think JJ will pull that one out. Now, Broken Nerd has had issues where, as if you read the articles on our website, he was cast in the new Terminator movie. And then, thanks to an attack, had to cancel out of that because of injury. He is now facing the Alpha Dog in a soundstage in a cage, which is a Hell in a Cell, at WrestleMania. And what do you think that's going to look like?
Oh, man. I don't know. All I know is it's going to be a bunch of carnage and pain.
Yep.
But I think Broken Nerd's going to get his revenge.
I think so, too. Alpha Dog is a tough one to beat. They're both very similar, where they're both... Like, Alpha Dog is the newer of the two, but I think Nerd is going to pull that one out, but I would not be surprised by Alpha Dog either. He's always been close in his losses, in that sense. But so is Nerd. You know that. You faced him very recently. And then wanted a rematch, and it didn't go the way you guys planned. So
Yeah.
I think Nerd's going to take that one, but it's going to be very, very close. So close, it might go the other way. That's my call. And we have one more match. It is the Ultra-Violent Championship, and it's going to be Ultimate X.
Ooh.
So Orstella is defending against the Midnight Rider of Infinity, yes, Hiro Shin Moses, and Luke Gray.
Oh. Alright.
Well, I'm picking the Rider, but who do you have on that one?
Man.
Ultimate X is similar to a ladder match for the record. I believe it's 3 in a row with nothing lost. All the rules
I think it's
for those,
5.
It might be 5. You're right. All the rules are on our website for how that works. Check that out in the rules section for match stipulations. But I'm picking the Ryder. I want Lee to win that first singles title as well. But
It would be cool if he did, because I could imagine the stuff he would do with that.
Oh,
That
yeah.
would be pretty dope.
it would be pretty great. Yeah.
Man, you can't ever count out. Stella's been on a roll, and
He has.
Hero just came back.
Yep.
And you can't count
Plus
out
Luke. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't count out Luke.
And again, it's a consecutive type match, and that's a big card. So
I'm gonna go out on I don't know limb. I think Luke's gonna win that
Think so?
Ultimate X.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna do it.
So overall, let's go over those title matches. You think Luke is going to win. I think the Ryder's going to win. So we're both predicting a new Ultra-Violent champ. I'm predicting JJ to win the Road Warrior title. I forget who you picked already.
I'll pick JD.
JD. So you think he's going to retain. So
I think he will.
We've got that. Back over with the tag titles, we have HMF and the Creatures. We didn't talk about these for predictions, but I think HMF is going to retain that.
As do I.
Yep.
It'll be close. But
Redhead and CT. I think Redhead finally is going to go on a roll here. It's hard to pick against CT and stuff like this. He's beaten me by 1 point like 3 times.
yeah.
And when I beat him,
tough.
it was by that. But I think Redhead has finally got it. She's not going to let go.
I'll give her the benefit of the doubt, and I'll
So
pick her.
we'll have a retain there. And then, oh look, it's the world title. You and Tino. I'm picking you. I'll be honest. But
Oh, man.
Tino it's Tino.
Yeah, when it yeah, in big matches it usually strikes Tino time.
Mhm.
So, but now I'm gonna. Well, obviously I'm gonna pick myself.
Yeah. Of course.
You know, but he could win. It's possible.
So that is the current setup for WrestleMania as of recording this at 8:58 p.m. Eastern, Thursday, March 19th, 2020. By the time this is uploaded in 24 hours, everything might be different. Let's be honest. And of course, no shows with multi-man matches lead to things changing and who knows what happens. So we don't know what the future will bring, but this is the current plan. Knowing the expanded WrestleMania card, Bear Me, are you looking forward to April 4th and 5th?
I am. I'm looking forward to it in the JRPL and in real time because it's going to be memorable, one way or another.
It's going to be unique. I can tell you from what I've got planned for match write-ups, I am going to take advantage from the situation. I hope to be inspired by what they do, and if they have a match on a roof, so will I. We'll figure something out for the craziness. I mean, we've got a Falls Count Anywhere match in arenas with no people. We've got death matches which can go anywhere. Why stop in a ring? Not to say that you can't do it the normal way and have it proper, but let's do some fun stuff uniquely, and it's a once in a lifetime thing, really.
Yeah.
So yeah. That said, the next edition of this will probably be in a week. Hopefully, we'll have solid information on any changes, anything that comes up, new topics that may come up, be it promos or character chat. We always want to talk about that. We haven't had new power rankings because we haven't had a new event. It's been a bit of a mess on that too. So we'll see where that goes and where things evolve from there. Did you have anything else you want to talk about on this edition as we come close to 50 minutes or an hour on this one today?
No, I think we pretty much covered all the bases.
Cool. We will see about next time and what we can do. I will leave everyone with this. Do remember JabberRadio.com. That is where you put in your predictions. That's where you sign up for your profiles. Discord is where you can do your character chat and watch along or listen to us literally doing commentary on the Discord voice chat. It is a lot of fun. We do it for all the pay-per-views. It is pretty great. Live event for people talking about it as well for not in the voice chat. A lot of stuff there for everybody to check out. It is fun. If you want to be involved in this kind of stuff, sign up. Because the people who were in here, like myself, who weren't in big main event matches, are up there now. JJ Rocky joined this year, and here he is on a marquee thing. So you do the right things, you win the right matches, you get up there. You don't win, you still get towards storylines, and you still earn your stock going up. It is a lot of fun, so I recommend it. You get BeerMeJesus, who almost quit, as world champion. So
It's true.
don't give up on it. It is, like I said, a legit thing, so it's kind of hard. And right now, with no... I mean, they're not doing NWA events. They're not doing Ring of Honor, which we predict. They're not doing anything but WWE main, it seems. Who knows if Impact is doing Rebellion. ROH is canceling everything. So there's going to be less stuff to predict, admittedly. But we want to have fun with it. We want to make this something that people can enjoy and get distracted by. Just like the reason they're doing the real shows when they do them. So that's part of the fun. And we want to take people's minds off some insanity. Even though, yeah, listen to the podcast on Jabber Radio, you'll hear how upset I am about some stuff. It's pretty fun. So, but I will leave it with that. Thank you everybody for checking this episode out. It is episode 2 officially. A month after the first one, almost. We got sidetracked, bear me, but the world kind of went to hell for a bit there. So
yeah, it did. It did.
Yeah, but we will be able to at least know where things are going, and as things change, we will be here with those announcements. We will be here with those comments, and we will, of course, be here after WrestleMania to talk about everything that went down and all that fallout from that. After the write-up results, which are probably going to be like a Wednesday, Thursday thing, just keep that in mind for how things progress. That's not immediate, so that's that. But thanks again for everybody checking this out. Subscribe to the Jobber Radio Discord, the YouTube channel, the JRPL channel here. Check all that stuff out. And have a good night, and stay safe, and wash your hands, and use disinfectant like I'm about to after sneezing earlier. Thanks again.